Welcome to the Working Man Committee podcast. I'm your host, Brandon T, and happy Friday, February the 17th. Whew. A few days after Valentine's Day. And top story today for the Working Man. Y'all learned some interesting things over the pandemic. And one of the most talked about subject matters and what you learned was financial related. Yeah. Since when y'all was all locked down in your house and so forth, once y'all got tired of looking at each other, y'all started combing the interwebs and so forth. And several of y'all out there became financial experts. Yes, y'all were giving financial advice that y'all heard on the back of Google and so forth. And so some of it was good. A lot of it was good. The credit repair people was at the top of the list. So their fixes and so forth was repeated and repeated. Some people sprinkled a little bit what they thought should be sprinkled in there, and others just kind of, just went with it. And so what happened with all that was, like I said, y'all in turn was able to go hard in the credit cards. Now in the beginning, you only can do so much. You was at the house, you buying whatever, and then you had the financial gurus, the people that magic tricks when they talking about financial, or people talking about how much real estate they can buy and how much real estate they own and so forth, and they showing you, I lived in this state, now I live in this state, now I'm living large and so forth, all those videos and so forth. And all that information y'all took to heart. And a lot of y'all fixed your credit and got credit cards following these formulas of certain influencers that put it out there. So, hey, get this card with the reward points introductory. Keep that for a while. Go get you another one. You know what I'm saying? How many months and so forth things can happen. And then you shuffle them. And then you go swipe a whole bunch of times. And then next thing you know, you got a free trip to Bali and back. Or so forth. And so with all that, and then in turn, now if you watching the old interwebs and anything financial comes up, now it's talking about business credits. Go get you an LLC. Go get you some trade lines. Go here these random places that do business supplies and go get all those accounts. They don't check your credit, and they use your business credit, and then you can use that in turn. And then they report over here, and then next thing you know, you've got more credit. Some people, I got 50,000, I got 100,000, I got a million. And then so with all those swirling around, now in this day and age climate, interest rates are high. And so I go to the point to say this. Yahoo Finance is troubling signs emerging that credit card debt has hit record high. 2022, that's when that number hit that. Yeah. And the delinquency between borrowers also accelerating. So now you're getting all those tricks and tips you learned over the pandemic to get all this extra credit and so forth, and get these limits high. You probably would have got, some of y'all probably got, $100 limits, $500 limits, maybe $1,000. But then y'all paid attention to the T, followed the gurus, and y'all got thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars in credit. And then when tough times, you start swiping. Swiper, no swiper. And so balances are up. Let's see, it says balances grew $61 billion in the fourth quarter. Wow. So in the fourth quarter last year, what's that? What's that? October, November, December. So I guess you had Christmas, and Thanksgiving in there. So a lot of good Christmases out there, and so forth. And yeah, and so the Federal Reserve has noted that this is the largest increase in credit since 1999. So, like I said, 99. That was what coming out of the Clinton years and so forth, and everybody was spending money left, right, and center. Because back then that was an economic boom until it wasn't, and so debate has been laid out there again. And so it says here, at the same time, the rates are going up for cardholders missing payments and becoming more than 90 days behind is higher than before the pandemic. So now you've taken fixed it so doing so and before the pandemic, what I'm saying, people were struggling and so forth. And then I guess, you listen to the talking heads in the financial space, the pandemic money helped you get out of that debt. And then you fixed your credit and then was able to and get more credit and more credit and more credit. And now you're back in a worse position than you were before. Instead of you being behind on credit cards, you maybe had a $500 balance on, $1,000 balance. Now you might be behind on a credit card that you got $10,000 balance. Whew. And then also it says here, especially among younger buyers, the people that had the phone out looking at, all the financial videos, all the gimmicks behind a lot of these videos to draw you in, and those people took the entry, card entry specials, extra points, airline miles, and all that good stuff, put it together, and they're getting whooped the hardest now. Yep. What needs to happen here? Let's see. It also says here that that $130 billion year over year increase in credit card debt. Wow. So people are spending, getting cards, and spending as hard as they possibly could spend. But like I said, working man, this is the trap. And then if you remember back, matter of fact, side note, if you remember back, when you all saw this good financial advice and telling you how you should do and so forth, and then you had Dave Ramsey on the other side, losing his mind about how people over here just getting 4, 5 credit cards. You know how back in the day, if you watch some of the old movies, if y'all are younger, is that open the wallet up, all the cards fall out, hold it up like I can buy anything I want to in the world. We have returned to that. Now we'll see what happens. Hopefully, like I said, working men all stop. I know at times it's a little hard. Feds trying to put you out of business. All stop on the credit cards. Take care of your balances. Like I said, this could be something that could be very troubling to the old working man. Yep. All right, let's change gears a little bit here. Let's talk politics for a little bit. So, in the politic realm, let's see. This lady here, y'all know who that is? That is Dianne Feinstein. Di-Fi for short. She is a senator from California. Let's see. Dianne Feinstein is retiring after her latest term. But she might not have should have ran for the other term. Brandon, why you say that? Yeah. So headline: a Baffled Dianne Feinstein walks out of the Senate chambers wondering what happened. What did I vote for? Now, that's not one of those situations where you say, okay, these senators don't read none of the bills that go on there. They staffers say hey, it's good, or sending the lobbyists and so forth, pick the things and so forth. This ain't one of those situations. She was literally confused at what happened. Diane Feinstein didn't seem to know what took place on the Senate floor on Wednesday morning. So back on Wednesday, she knew what was happening. She was there, but she wasn't there. The retiring California Democrat asked staffers to confirm about a vote she had just attended. She know why she was there. Why are we here? What's going on? Really? Yep. Let's see. The latest flash, apparently, of confusion. Dianne Feinstein plan to serve. Like I said, this is what happened. She's been suffering from confusion, and she plans to retire. Like I said, so 2024 she's gonna retire. But to get there, she's having trouble. Like I said, when they said she emerged from the Senate chambers and not knowing what had happened. Yeah. There was two series of votes while she was there, and she didn't know what she voted for. So my question is, which way she vote? Yeah, did she? But you know how it goes. You get to the point where you probably go in with the same people you know, and probably voted the way they voted. And then she asked her staffers, and a person was listening. There's ears everywhere. It says, "Did I vote for that?" The insider overheard California Democrat asking a long-term chief of staff about approving a judicial nominee to the federal bench. Yeah. Let's see. She's 89 years old, and she's been in the Senate for 6. So she's 89 years old, and there was 6 votes happening that day. And the first couple, she knows what she was voting for. Wow. So like I said, that it's very troubling. Like I said, then it goes back. This goes back to the age old question that was asked before. How old is too old? At some point in time, it needs to be a cutoff, and so forth. And with like I said, some stuff is just too much. And here I'm gonna play a little bit of Nancy Pelosi and what she thinks about the situation.
I think that Senator Feinstein has been an icon for our country. She has a record that is of the best in the United States Senate. For 30 years, she has served not only our state but our country well. I respect the decision that she has made and know that in the 2 years ahead, she will still continue to make great contribution to our country.
Also, the work that she's done in Washington, D.C., especially around um, gun reforms and really sticking up for San Francisco values. And so we appreciate her career of service and look forward to really honoring her and celebrating her incredible legacy.
Yeah. So Dianne Feinstein of California is like I said, retiring. But like I said, at the end of the day, should she even been there at 89 years old? And then that asks more question. Nancy Pelosi's in her 80s also. Should she be there? Like I said, should they be a age cap? Like okay, at a certain page is this. Like I said, even Biden is 80 years old. I want to say this, Democrats. This question to my Democratic audience: Y'all don't have any younger people that y'all can vote for? Does everybody gotta be great granddaddy and great grandma? Really? No younger people with younger ideas and so forth. Like I said, a lot of Democrats are very progressive. Do y'all really think that these older people think the way you think? You think that grandkids are forcing them to say certain things? No. Or advocating certain things? Not at all. I mean, a lot of these politicians, they say it, they come to the mic, say what they think you want to hear, because they hear their grandkids talking about it, and then they go vote a different way. Yep. So, but anyway, we will see how that goes. All right, and our next story, let's talk NFL. Yeah. And Derek Carr. Yep, Derek Carr was released by the Raiders because he was not gonna be traded. He didn't want to be traded. He got no trade clause in his contract, and he had $40 million about to be guaranteed this week, and the Raiders let him go before that $40 million could be achieved. Now, there was strong considerations with him going to the Raiders, not the Raiders, the Saints. And so the Saints were looking at him hard, and he went down there, had several meetings, and at the end of the day, he was like, nah, I'm good. It ain't happening. I ain't proving no trades. And so now that he's released, he's an unrestricted free agent, and now he has the freedom to sign with whoever he wants to sign with. And knowing the history, this is a prediction. Knowing the history with the Panthers here lately, and Frank Wright, the coach over here, that couldn't develop a coach when he was at the Colts, and they just kept getting veterans every other year because like I said, he can't develop talent. Thank you, David Tamper, for needing the office of a guy that can't develop a quarterback. And so I'm taking that high consideration. He might be a Panther next year, and the carousel will continue. Yes, and our last story, we're gonna do some. We're gonna talk about Virginia. Virginia's we're trying to. The governor and the conservative legislator of Commonwealth Virginia was trying to add some extra stuff to the abortions. They were trying to limit abortions in that state. And one of the things they were trying to do is pass a bill that the law enforcement get a search warrant for a woman's menstrual data. Yes, menstrual data. So what they wanted to know is if you missed your period, and if you missed your period, what happened? Were you pregnant? And then from point A to B. So if you missed your period, I guess if you missed your period so many times you're pregnant, and then you start having a period again before you had a baby, then something went awry. And I guess they were trying to figure out if you miscarried was purposely or unpurposely done. But like I said, that bill was defeated by the Democrat-led Senate, and so menstrual data and tracking apps of that stuff that women use for themselves is now safe again to be used. It won't be in the hands of law enforcement to prosecute you for whatever. And I'm gonna say this. I'm pro-life, but I do what you want to do, and going to the extreme of trying to track menstrual data is a bit much. I mean, really, really, to the point where whoever thought about that shouldn't be in office, not at all. I mean, with privacy, you over here going past medical records and so forth. Now you're micromanaging the female's body. It's too much. And so I'm glad that was defeated and so forth. And like I said, people should have a choice to do what they want to do and so forth. I mean, it shouldn't be like, you know what I'm saying, the decision might be made sooner than later, what you want to do, but like I said, the choice should always stay between a woman and a doctor and not going too far to try to criminalize the woman's body. And with that said, this has been the Working Man Committee podcast. Happy Friday again. We will see you Monday. Peace.